Sure helped this country.
Sure helped that old cow, too. Mind if we water the horses? They're a little dry.
I don't, but Mr. Tasker does. This is private property. He owns all this water, so move on.
Pleasant sort of a fella, isn't he?
Hey, Rex, who's the statue?
A fella named Byron Tasker started this town years ago. Order me some ham and eggs over easy, will you? I want to get this poster up.
I'm going to eat them if you don't hurry.
What do you think you're doing, knucklehead?
Just testing my little old divining rod. Every time I get her around water, I just can't hold her. See?
Give me a hand.
Hey, wait a minute, you guys. Let's talk this thing over.
Couple of you guys, get up here.
Be reasonable now.
Hey.
Where's that man, Barney? He just came in, took sides of that loony water finder, Mr. Tasker. I don't know who he was.
We better find out. What's going on here, boy?
Don't ask me. I just got here myself. Thanks for catching my horses. Hey, what's your handle?
Rex Allen.
Just call me Slim.
Who are those fellas that run you out of town?
All them mangy coyotes. Thought I'd find water, that's what.
With a fork and stick?
Well, my granddad used to. But in case that don't work, I got some underground water maps and some geology books and...
I heard there was a shortage of water here in the valley. Who'd want to stop you from finding any?
Tasker, that's who. Got a big artesian well on the far side of town. Enough water to supply the whole valley, but he ain't supplying it.
I saw a statue of him in town. He don't look like the
They
kind
don't put up statues of live men. Old Byron Tasker was a fine man. He's gone now, and his no-good son Russ took over. Boosted the water rates, the ranchers had to pay him the last cent when they couldn't pay anymore.
Well, they cut off their water supply, and now them ranchers is dying a slow death.
Looks like Russ Tasker wants control of this valley. But why?
I'll be hanged if I know why he's trying to drive us out. Land ain't so valuable.
All I knows is that I come here to help them ranchers and try to make a little money for myself. Say, what brings you here, Rex?
About the same thing that brought you here, Slim. Water shortage.
You ain't competition, are you?
No. I'm on a cattle buying trip for the Cooperative Cattlemen's Association. We heard there was a drought down here and the ranchers was forced to sell out. So we decided we'd buy up a few of them, see if we could fatten them for market.
You better buy my herd fast while they're still alive.
Well, don't get excited about those boys. They came along with me to help me with the cattle.
It's going to be a little unhealthy for you around town after what just happened.
Why don't you stay here? Plenty of room in the bunkhouse. I can show you my herd in the morning.
I might take you up on that, Mr.
Shaver. Lem Shaver.
Say, that reminds me. How about renting your barn for a cattle buying rally?
Sure. Glad to have you. That's your wagon?
Uh-huh. It looks like I got a little fixing to do.
And you better start in the barn first. What are you waiting for, Mr. Tasker? There they are, down at Lem Schaefer's place. All we got to do is
Wait a minute. You want to spoil everything? The ranchers are starting to move out already. That land's as good as mine right now, Barney. It isn't just the land. See that point there, the end of the valley? Pretty soon there'll be a dam there. The water I control will flood the valley to make power for that dam. To make electricity. That's why I've got to have that valley. I'll light up the cities beyond, the cities to come. And they'll pay and pay and pay. Anything I want to charge. Power, Barney, that's the word. Power for those cities, it'll mean power for me through the money I'll make. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if I became the wealthiest man in the West.
Sounds great, Mr. Tasker. It's a good thing your father's dead. If he heard you talk like that, why, he'd...
Shut up. He was too soft, Barney. He was too soft. To get along today, you gotta be hard. Just keep an eye on those cow punchers.
They say that a cowboy lives lazy and long,
Hanging round campfires and singing a song. Now you can believe me, that don't mean a thing. When I'm through at night, I'm just too tired to sing. Ooh, a cowboy's living is far from the best. Don't get me wrong, for I still love the West. They gave him a pinto and said, learn to ride. He jumped on that pony and oh, how he tried.
He started to bucking and jumping around. It's now been 8 years and I still can't sit down.
A cowboy's living is far from the best. But don't get me wrong, for I still love the West. On Saturday night, I dressed up like a dude, and I go out a-courtin', I'm just in the mood. When we get to town, I meet up with my pal.
He borrows my money and runs off with my gal.
A cowboy's living is far from the best. Don't get me wrong, for I still love the West.
Lady, oh, lady, oh, lady, lady,
Don't get me wrong, for I still love the West.
Slim, the shells?
Sure, that's the best part.
Morning, Mr. Schaefer. Sit down and have some breakfast.
Thanks. As soon as you're finished, I'll take you out and show you the stock.
How big is your herd?
Just 10 head left. Cattle don't thrive very well without water and feed.
Stay here, Jim.
Johnny,
No use looking at me like that, Pa. We ain't had meat in the table in so long that
But that steer belongs to Slim Shaver. You know that. Come here.
I can't stop now.
I said come here.
I ain't gonna do it. These steers will die from thirst anyway. I know it ain't right to kill someone else's stock, Pa. But it ain't right for you and me to starve, neither. And the General, too.
It's hard to believe we'd come to this, Johnny. After all we've had. If Sue ever hears of this,
She'll never know, Pa. Did you get the water?
in the barrels. That's wrong, too. Finding a water hole and not telling all of our neighbors about it.
There's hardly enough for us, Pa. Besides, if Tasker knew where I found it, he'd make sure that nobody in the valley ever had any water.
Listen. That might be Slim Shaver. Where's your horse?
In the draw. Get it. Come on, General, let's go.
Well, here they are.
I only count 9 head, Lem. You think one of them might have strayed off?
I don't know.
Look around, boys, and see if you can find that other steer. How's $40 a head sound to you?
$40? I never expected that much, Alan.
10 head, $40, $400. I'll have the company mail you a check tomorrow.
Hey, Rex, over here.
Gee, steak, but a little on the rare side for me.
That's my brand.
Just been butchered. I thought I saw somebody right away when we came in.
I guess you'll only have to pay me for 9 head now instead of 10, Alan.